Da-da-da-da-da, we're talking about whitewashing. Hi, Gigabytes. I did not expect to make a second video on this subject. I felt my original video about the whitewashing of Ghost in the Shell live action was ample enough. I felt like I said all I needed to say. However, I have been watching this conversation in the public eye go on and on for the last few months, with the trailers coming out and people going back and forth. And as usual, there is no shortage of white people reassuring each other that it's not whitewashing. It's amazing. I have seen a few arguments pop up since I made my first video, so I will take this time out to address those new arguments I've seen. So let's begin, shall we? Number one, let's wait until we see the movie, or at least the trailers. This is ordinarily a reasonable argument. Matter of fact, I make it all the time myself. But this has nothing to do with the actual quality of the movie. This is about a long-standing practice that Hollywood has had, and this is another link in the chain. So it really doesn't matter if this film is good. I enjoyed Doctor Strange, and it actually had a bit of whitewashing in that film. Didn't seem to matter if the film was good or not. That still was a problem plaguing that movie. The film Gods of Egypt is widely regarded as a terrible movie, so it doesn't make the whitewashing in that any more bad. That's just how it goes. It's a problem. While we're going off on the trailers and the quality of the movie, I'm going to take a little sidestep here. I've watched all the trailers up until now, and I have to say, it does look like something they're adding as a story element is that she has been lied to by her superiors, and she is this ultimate weapon, and she was this other person, and look, I understand that she has usually been shrouded in mystery as to who she was in the past, especially in the earlier works of Ghost in the Shell, particularly the manga. But her struggle to find out her self-worth and identity, if she is a person or a machine, or is she just a collection of memories, if she's any more than that, that's always been an internal struggle that is similar to the kind we all face. And it's not done in some simple way, but in this film it looks like they're just going to say, a bad guy did it! You know, someday I hope that Americanizing something isn't equal to dumbing it down. Number two, I understand that Japan has made an Attack on Titan movie featuring Japanese actors where the characters in the anime are European. So, hey, the same? Two wrongs make a right? That doesn't exist. That's not a thing. And, okay, if you think that that is a wrong and it is equal to what they're doing in the anime version of Ghost in the Shell, well then you are basically saying what they're doing is wrong. So obviously you can't really do anything so much about the Attack on Titan remake in Japan because we're not living there and really can't support it either way. But hey, that thing you just equaled to that is actually coming out this weekend. Let's not see that and make a statement with that. Also, by the way, I did a tiny bit of research in this video, and I did a little Google search. Did you know that the total combined population of white people, and I'm talking about Americans, Irish, French, and Jewish people living in Japan, is roughly under 55,000 people? In a comparison, the Asian American population is around 12 million, so kind of different. Number three, this is an argument I've seen a lot and kind of frustrates me, and it's the argument of, hey, we talked to some people in Japan and they're cool with it, so what are you talking about? And this comes from essentially someone taking a camera, going on the streets of Japan, and asking people what they thought of the Ghost in the Shell remake with white people in it, and they didn't seem to care. This has been brought up over and over again as if it's this mind-blowing, mic-dropping argument ender that's just supposed to stop this debate and blow our minds and go, oh man, you're right. I can't believe I went all out about this. I've even seen people I respect bring this up as if it's the end of the argument. Done. The problem is, and this may shock you, but Japan is another country. And they have their own political, social issues going on in that country. Therefore, the average person living in the street in Japan probably doesn't understand or care about our social political problems going on over here. Not understanding what it might be to be an Asian American person or a Muslim American person or any person of color. That isn't their issue. They don't have any problem with that. They probably think, oh, hey, American, that's probably white or maybe black. I don't know. I got my stuff going on in Japan as a Japan citizen. So, who cares? This is actually a meaningless argument. And I've seen it over and over again. It just drives me nuts because it says nothing and proves nothing. And while we're on the subject, caring so much about what the average Japanese citizen thinks, I think about this one last argument, which I've heard before with other animes brought to America, in that if the anime characters look white, then it's okay for white people to play them. I've seen people all the time talk about this, and here's the thing. I get it. Yeah, I see the wide-eyed characters, I see the blondes and the redheads and all that stuff. But you know who thinks of those people as Japanese? Japanese people. When you ask them, hey, do you think Rurouni Kenshin is a white guy or a Japanese person? They'll probably tell you it's a Japanese person. If they remake Rurouni Kenshin in America, how cool is it going to be if we cast Rupert Grint as Rurouni Kenshin? Hey, he has red hair. That character has red hair. That's perfect casting. No. You're going to cast a Japanese actor as that character. That just goes to how we think. We always go to default of white people in Western culture. And that kind of feeds into the issue here. And this has been going on since the beginning of film in at least the Western half of the populace, where we always default in thinking white people are the creators of history, we're the movers, we're the heroes, and everybody else who is non-white and even in a lot of cases non-male. I think the non-males in this world are called women, I think. Is that right, Lindsay? Yes.
Female?
Female, yes.
Yeah. The
female humans. Yeah, they have nothing to do with it. They're just victims or villains or bystanders. You know, it's us that have been doing it. And even, it is so ingrained in our culture and the way we think. Even when they make films which have to have no white people in it, like films that take place in ancient Egypt, for instance, we still cast white actors in those parts. We are subconsciously telling ourselves, we're in control. Oh yeah, we can hire non-white actors as the villains, or like the side characters and stuff like that, but it's the main heroes that always have to be played by white people over and over again. And yes, Ghost in the Shell did not invent this. It is not the worst case of whitewashing, but is another step in whitewashing. And a lot of people are upset by this because it's 2017 and it's time to it's time to stop this. We have plenty of Asian American actors. See, that's the thing. People keep talking about Japan, Japan, Japan. When people talk about whitewashing in America and American film, they're not talking about foreign actors. They're talking about American actors trying to make a living, trying to bring apart their lives, and also trying to bring an image to Asian Americans just watching it, including kids growing up who don't see heroes of themselves to relate to. Over and over again, that's what we're talking about. When you're watching this, and if you're getting upset, and you're really kind of raging right now, and you put the caps on your computer so you can really yell at me, I want you to be assured of something. I am not calling you racist because you want to see this film. I understand. I went through this with Doctor Strange, and I'll go through this with another film. I know it. I understand because you might be a fan of Ghost in the Shell. You might be a fan of Scarlett Johansson. You might want to encourage Hollywood to make more films with female leads or anime remakes. Or you just need to review the film. Or, hey, you just want to see something action-packed this weekend. I don't care. I get it. But you have to understand that is going to be a side effect of you paying to see this movie during its opening week and its original run. Now, you can, of course, see it later, and Hollywood will have already gotten the message from the previous time. However, if you're a person who gets passionately angry when people bring up this subject, and it causes you to really rage and just even throw out, like, the most insane, like, kind of borderline offensive, like, arguments, or just do everything you can to convince people it's not whitewashing, and you're just going off and off. You need to wonder, like, why does this subject upset you? Why does people like me, how come people like me bringing up the subject and bringing up the conversation, why does it threaten you so much? Maybe you should look at yourself in the mirror, and perhaps you should ask your ghost. Push the button, Lindsay.